This is a cautionary tale for our times. Sunday in September. The last two standing, Claremont and Swan districts, shape up for Grandfinal 2010. Swans defender Travis Casserly, then aged 23, is nursing AFL ambitions with Richmond. 2 tablets and a tribunal hearing will put paid to that.
We sung the song when we went down to the rooms, and yeah, straight after the song I was tapped on the shoulder and had to be chaperoned around until I did the test actually.
We play with all our might because we're full of fight. We are the famous black and whites.
Casserly got 2 years because of these, Sudafed, not out of place in a family medicine cabinet. There's no disputing that he took them, he says, for hay fever, one before and one during the game. But wiped from footy for 2 years, harsh, fair. Was it ignorance or was it deliberate? This is his story.
I was pretty crook leading up to the grand final. I was crook the week before in the prelim. But during the week, there was a couple of training sessions where I trained but wasn't really feeling up to it.
Did people at the club know this?
Yeah, the people at the club knew that I was...
Knew you weren't up to it?
I was crook, but I sort of... It was grand final week, so you don't really want to let people know how you... Or if you're feeling bad, I guess. Because
does that mean you didn't tell them, or what?
A couple of people knew, obviously, that they could see that I was crook, but... when you're going into grand final, you're just like, no, I'm right, I'm going to be fine. So,
well, if you're feeling crook, how did you get in the team?
Well, I've never pulled out of a game because I'm sick. I don't know. I've always managed to play. But yeah, just the day of the grand final just felt real heady.
At half-time, Casserly took the second Sudafed. That action, followed by a urine test, would send him to the football tribunal where the young man in black and white was hoping for shades of grey.
I mentioned in my tribunal that I took it because I didn't feel like I was up to par, I guess. And I guess they sort of saw it as a admission to try to enhance my performance, but I sort of read it the other way by saying, well, all I was trying to do was relieve my symptoms.
But
so,
if you weren't feeling up to par, then presumably you're taking this tablet to make you feel above par.
Obviously,
which is
not
to
make yourself feel above par, but probably bring yourself back to par.
Right.
And I guess that's enhancing your performance in the rule book, I guess.
So let's get this clear. At any stage, did anybody from Swans, a doctor or anybody, know about the Sudafed?
Well, yeah, people at the club obviously know that I take it for coaching staff, medical staff know that I take it to relieve my symptoms.
And you've always done that while you've been at Swans?
Always done it while I've been at Swans, even at previous clubs I've...
And have you taken it during previous games?
Yeah.
With a driver's licence, you can buy Sudafed from the chemist. Your details will be recorded. Sudafed contains pseudoephedrine, a component of speed. Pseudoephedrine is banned by the Australian Sports Anti-Doping Authority.
If you took 6 tablets before a game just because you wanted to, I don't know, get an edge and wanted to pipe yourself up, I think you're doing the wrong thing. But
so that, to me, indicates that you know what is actually in Sudafed?
I know what's in Sudafed. I think everyone knows what's in Sudafed.
Speed?
Pseudoephedrine, yeah. But I think if you're using it for the right reasons, then you're not doing the wrong thing. There's a limit on how much you can take, and I felt that, or I knew that I took under the limit, and we're not too sure why it went over.
The view of the WA Football Commission is unequivocal. Steve Hargrave is the man charged with delivering that message.
Pseudoephedrine is banned in competition, so all players are educated that they mustn't self-medicate, and it's important to work with a club doctor. And if need be, if you do have a medical condition, all players know that they must get a therapeutic use exemption form.
Did you, at that time, seek any advice from anybody, from any medical person?
No, I'm not really a doctor's person actually. Like, me and the old man are pretty similar in that way. But
So no doctors at the club would have recommended that you take the Sudafed?
No doctors recommended that I take it.
I'm just wondering how Travis was allowed to get that far, taking the Sudafed himself and presumably not talking to any doctors at Swans.
Oh, look,
when everybody knew he had hay fever, he says.
Yes. Well, that's a question that you could ask, and it's a question that I'm not aware of the answer.
So the facts are, Travis Casserly took 2 Sudafed for hay fever. Sudafed contains pseudoephedrine. Pseudoephedrine is a banned substance. His urine test was positive. He was banned for 2 years. Then there's an extra punishment. Reportage of the events under a drug cheat headline.
Yeah, I suppose it's pretty tough to be called, obviously, a drug cheat. I don't believe I'm a drug cheat. But, you know, like, football, I guess it's a brutal sport in some ways. You get
on the ground.
On the ground, and obviously in the media as well. I think if you're caught a drug cheat, or you know, you go to, even on the field, players are called dirty players. I suppose you take it how you take it, and I suppose it makes you a stronger person.
But as far as labelling him this and that, I think that's disappointing. That people take that view. I think it's clearly that he's made a mistake. He's about to complete the duration of his suspension, and we certainly hope that he can go on to bigger and better things as a footballer and as a person in general.
People who know the full story believe me 100%, and I guess you have your doubters for every story, I guess, but I guess they'll believe what they want to believe, I guess.
How's it been these last 2 years living with that notoriety, really?
Yeah, it's been pretty tough not being able to play, and obviously some of the articles that have been in the paper, like every time there's a story about another player with drugs, obviously I get mentioned, and
that's going to happen.
It's probably not the best thing, or not sort of a thing that you want to see your name sort of being dragged through the mud.
There it is! Swans have ended a 20-year drought, knocking off the minor premier.
Swan Districts won the grand final by a point. Despite the Sudafed story, Claremont chose not to contest the result. Travis Casserly, under the banner of the Football Commission, now speaks of his experiences to young footballers. He no longer believes in grey areas.
Because something like, I guess, drugs in sport are pretty raw in the WAFL. No one really knows how to sort of go by, or how to attack it, I guess. So the club was...
Would you explain what you mean by that?
Well, we've had 4 players test positive in the WAFL in the last 3 years, and on every occasion, no matter what it is, we've all received 2 years. There's no real grey area when it comes to the rules.
The ban will end very soon, in a month or so. Do you go back to football?
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to going back to football.
Even though they'll call you a drug cheat?
Yeah, but I suppose if you love the game that much, then that thing's just a small part of it, I guess.